When a watch is called derivative, it's often mentioned in a very negative light, oftentimes even borderline offensive. But there is a way to actually derive from these existing beautiful designs and create your own identity in an almost flawless gem. Almost. This video is brought to you by Nezumi Studios. Our latest chronograph to review hails from Sweden, the Voiture VM1S by Nezumi. It appeals with a reasonable 40mm diameter, lug distance of 47mm, and accessible 20mm lug width. The thickness here won't compete against the likes of the Nautilus or Speedy, nor should you even dare shower in style with this Voiture. This watch does win by a mile with this Swiss SW510 manual wind caliber, which works and feels like a well-oiled machine. The materials used are the usual suspects, but what makes this a little more special is that the design is quite refined coming from Sweden and is quality assembled from Germany. David Campo, designer and founder of Nezumi, is a gearhead that loves watches. Well, I think that's pretty obvious. From its humble beginnings as a Swedish denim producer, Nezumi is making waves now as a competitive watchmaker. In 2015, they launched the Voiture as their flagship watch, and this is the next step in the company's journey. On the wrist, the racing chrono proportions are felt with the comfort tagging along for the ride. This is quite a bit of heft with this case thickness, especially over my lower league wrist. But this 40mm is a proven solid diameter. The packaging and presentation is the right blend of design, premium quality, and Scandinavian simplicity. Very fitting for this easy-to-use chronograph. The top pusher activates the complication. It's a very satisfying and heavy push, a signature of Swiss mechanical movements. Press the pusher again and you know the drill. This pauses the chrono needle. The other pusher resets the chrono, and finally don't forget to wind the caliber using the crown. The lugs and bracelet are time-honored designs fused together beautifully. It's class and elegance until you get to the clasp. For the sake of being period correct, Nezumi used a friction fit fold-over and enclosure. This is very hard on your nails, but it does feel appropriate. A little pain is part of the game, I guess. When we zoom into the aesthetics of the Voiture, we'll find a number of derivative parts executed in good taste. Just look at this bezel. The bezel insert, being a matted aluminum instead of the current norm of ceramic material, actually adds to the vintage personality of the piece. Sure, ceramic has superior durability, but this grainy surface delivers better contrast against the bezel. This bezel continues its polished facade down to the sides, creating shadows that hides its tall dimensions. The familiar lyre lugs, popularized by Omega, is present here and extended down to the Jubilee bracelet. It felt a little weird imagining a Speedy marrying a Datejust, but hey, this is one gorgeous baby that they made. The backside is very interesting with a good mix of liquid numerals and this motorsports-inspired grille inlay. It also helps that solid casebacks typically reduce case height over crystal displays. Simplicity of function and form are a Swedish specialty, but that doesn't mean it's boring. All it needs is a sliver of light and it's ready for its photo finish. This one will go to my Insta for sure. The light play extends to the dial with the same contrasting scheme between the indexes and dial texture. The hands are equally attractive, brush finish and all. These are the same lines that we've seen from Zenith and Heuer's of old. There's a certain allure that painted design that fits this watch better than applied elements. Speaking of painted on, the C1 Superluminova application is minimal but decently potent. Lastly, I think the best and nerdiest part of this watch is how the tachymeter scale is printed. No two numbers are alike because the whole scale was hand-drawn personally by David Campo himself. All of these parts work together to place this timepiece back to the golden age of racing. Happily, we also have a vintage racing chronograph to compare it to. Beside the Omega Speedmaster Mark II, it shows the contrast between the two design approach. But what's more interesting is the dial layout. You get the similar sub-dial placements here, it's just set farther from one another. The angular frames of the sub-dials reminds us of a number of layouts found in the decade. This also brings along the joys of strap changing. Leather straps gives a good deal of personality, from restrained Horween to the eye-catching light perforated band. These are simple solid toned straps. Pairing these with the contrasted lines and it takes a life of its own. Whether it's a sailcloth or fabric strap, the visual interest the textures brings increases the wearability of the voiture. Something worth considering, especially when you're reminded by that clasp situation. Priced at $1,400, it's jockeying against the Swiss powerhouses such as Tissot, Hamilton, and Longines in the pre-owned market. The fact that this design, though, has been around for nearly a decade says something about the voiture. You may be foregoing some established brands' watches, but you could be supporting a timepiece at the infancy of its heritage. It's a gorgeous watch with a performance that could make some brands reevaluate their marketing strategy. Nezumi has been around for a decade now, and there is no sign of slowing down. With every new release, Nizumi is steadily climbing up the ranks and is improving their collections. Who knows? This could be the new Neo Vintage. So what do you think? Would you drop $1,500 on a Nezumi Voiture or in one of those big brands? Comment down below and see your alternatives to this beautiful, near perfect mechanical chronograph. Oh man, it just like hurts my fingers to do this all the time. But it's a very nice combination of that Jubilee and Lyre lugs. That sells the design for me. Since I anticipate this is not their first 10-year anniversary watch. For sure they're going to be able to deliver more in this front. When it comes to vintage style watches, Nizumi's really got a solid grip of their design. I mean, look at the design. Look at the box. Even the box looks very Swedish. Stockholm, Nezumi, Stockholm. So what do you think? Would you drop 15 grand? 15 grand? No,